Okay, so this is a walkthrough of the editor I built for Soulcaster 2. It's pretty much just an extension of what I had for Soulcaster 1, but it's a lot cooler, so I figured I'd show it off with this video. So let's create a new map here. This one's going to be 2 screens wide by 1 screen high, and we're going to call it Floating Continent. And here we go. So I can scroll around. Since it's all the same tile, you can't really see any change. Basically, this is each map is composed of layers, and the most basic one is the floor layer. In Soulcaster 1, this was the only layer we were dealing with in terms of a tile map. So I can draw whatever on this layer, and it'll show up. So we've got some sort of wall here, maybe a roof tile, whatever we want to call that. Can erase that for now. The concept for this level I'm going to make is an island, so I'm going to carve out some of the edge pieces. I know it looks weird, it's like I'm creating the striped pattern, but that's actually a base layer. And you can see the base layer if I click this and set it, and now underneath I can set whatever tile I want as the base layer. We're going to use this gold clouds pattern for now, and this is something that's drawn underneath any transparent tile. And tiles can be partially transparent. These edge tiles are fully transparent. So one really cool thing that you can edit about the base layer is you can lock the scrolling of it. So let's test this out. As you can see, it looks like it's way in the distance, so we're floating way above the clouds to give kind of a depth. Turn the music off for this level for now. Okay, we can make it look a little bit more like a floating continent by adding some of these tiles. So now it looks like there's some cliffs. So it's a little more convincing this way. So yeah, it looks kind of like a floating city. This tile set is pretty blocky. There aren't a lot of tweening tiles or edge pieces here because it's just a partial tile set. But for the final, don't worry, it'll look a lot nicer than this. Anyway, one other thing we can change about the base layer is we can have it do some auto-scrolling and set an X and Y auto-scroll value, and now not only are we floating above these clouds, but it's moving, so it's like we're orbiting the Earth. I'm going to turn that off for now. So one new thing we've got going on is the sky layer, and I'm going to demonstrate why this is important. So say we've got this wall. This wall is basically one square wide in all dimensions, well, 4 squares wide and then 1 square high. So the player should be able to walk behind it, but can't, so it doesn't really make sense. It's like, why can't you walk down from here? This is solved by putting these roof tiles in the sky layer, and the sky layer is drawn above all the actors in the level, all the sprites. So now you can walk behind that, and it makes a lot more sense. You can also do this to make a little hut. Let's clear this off. So yeah, let's make this hut here. See, normally in Soulcaster 1 I have a lot of geometry that looked like this, where the tiles were wider than they were tall, just so that it would have the geometry I needed, just so I wouldn't have to make everything 2 squares high. But we don't need to do that anymore with the sky layer. So we can add that in, and yeah, look at how much nicer that is. I've still got the geometry, the squares are the same dimension in all directions. So yeah, it's pretty much just a matter of decorating a level on the floor and then on the sky layer. Okay, one new layer I've added is decorations, which can be really simple. I'm just going to put a happy little push right over here. It can also be more complicated. So let's say 3 frames and we're animating it. So check that out. We've got an animated vines growing up. Something that could not have happened before. Other things that are on the floor layer are things like doors. So say we wanted to put a shop over here. There's the sky layer again. Save this. So there's a door. You can see in the collision map. You can make it so you can get into the door like that. Actually, I accidentally put that in the sky layer. So let's go to the floor layer and add the door there. Collision map, yeah. Here we've got our door. You can make it a shop. That. There we go. There's our shop. For now, let's pull the shop out. It's not really needed. One new thing we've got is I can place an exit. So this will be an exit to another map. In Soulcaster 1, it was just an arbitrary exit. There was one per map, and it would always lead to the next level. But this time I can actually select which map it goes to, so I can have branching pathways through the game. There's an arbitrary number of different maps any map can lead to. So now we're started with that. Let's go to a couple other things we can add. There's the pickup items layer, which is just any treasures that I want to put on the map. So yeah, you can grab these things. The heart of each of these maps is the gates and trigger system, which is kind of just a rudimentary scripting system. So the way it works is every gate or trigger, a gate is more or less a wall that can be destroyed by stepping on a trigger. Each one belongs to a particular group, which is just a script group, and I just have them organized by color so you can see them easily. So we're going to use the blue group, and I'm going to add a pressure plate here. You step on that pressure plate, it disappears. Let's make it useful and put this rock that's blocking the way in. So this is a wall essentially. But by stepping on that, it disappears. Now, one of the most useful things you can do is having multiple stages of any level. So in order to get in, we have those two groups. There's the red group, and because they're grouped together, they can be any number of gates attached to the red group, and they just all get killed. And there can be any number of triggers as well. So everything in that color all disappears at the same time. Clean this up a little bit. Now we're going to use the red gate group, and I'm going to show you how I can make multi-stage battles. So monsters come out of these spawners. Let's just put one here. You pick the monster type, rat, bat, zombie, whatever. You can make this one regular reapers. This one will just spawn one reaper. And there he is cruising around. Can't get to me. But if I open it up, there he is. Then I can change the total number of monsters. I can have it spawn 4 of them. And the spawn interval is how many frames in between. So 60 frames a second. This spawns at 1 per second. Let's change it to 30. Now, we've got 4 Reapers coming out really rapidly. Let's go back down to 1 Reaper. And here's another useful interaction for the gate system. So I'm going to put a red gate on top of the spawner. And it'll put this boulder here, and it'll just look like a boulder. You can't tell the spawner's there anymore. And it's still there, it's just sealed by the gate.